do a podcast. Just, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anthony, and the anticipation of that was thrilling, I must
Yes, I
say.
know.
Yeah.
I almost thought about holding it longer, but then I was afraid that you would think that maybe I was frozen or something. Um,
It's happened. It's happened.
yeah, I
So
mean that's the thing is it's happened before. So, um, welcome to our first episode non-Cage Fest,
I
everybody.
know we're running a little bit behind schedule, but hey, we're making it work here.
Yeah, we're a day late, but at least we did it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So before we get into too much else, let's talk about beer because I'm excited to drink mine. So, Anthony, you go first.
All right. So, seeing as we were watching a vampire movie, I think I did what I always do whenever we do a movie about vampires. I did get a blood orange oriented beer, but it's one we haven't done before. So I did
Ooh.
get. I think this is the first time we've had them on the podcast. Texas Ale Project's Texas
Mm,
Blood Orange IPA. So I've had this before, but I've never had it in the can. So we'll see how it goes in the can there. I've only ever had their stuff off the tap. So yeah, Texas Ale Project Blood Orange. I have the details that I set up to the side here. Their entry on Untapped. So they are fruited IPA, 6.5% ABV, 40 IBUs. They're rated as a 3.78 on Untapped. But yeah, they have a little Yippee Kai IPA in their description there.
nice.
But yeah, it's a blood orange IPA. What more is there to say? So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this sucker open here. So just give me 2 seconds, and
Classic.
not the greatest hiss, but hey, we're gonna make it work. All right, let's get this poured. All right, Ryan,
And
what do you got?
then I have from Pelican Brewing a pre-prohibit. Oh my gosh, pre-prohibit. I am struggling to talk. Prohibition. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna try. It's a cream ale.
Yeah, a pre-prohibition cream ale.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Uh, so one of our friends up here, they are part of like their mug club kind of
Cool.
thing. So they get like releases of like special stuff, and so he gave me one of these to try. So
That's the one brewery up there that I didn't get to try that I wanted to try.
it's really good. I do like Pelican. I've only had their stuff like whenever we've gone to the brewery, which has been like I don't know, 3 times, maybe 4.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean the beers that I've had from them are pretty good. Their food's really good too.
That's what I've heard as well. But yeah, all their places are really busy, which speaks to how great their stuff must be. Unfortunately, I was my wife and I were blazing a trail. That looks pretty nice.
Yeah, nice
We were
and
blazing a
clear.
trail through there, so we couldn't stop to wait for like an hour to get a table. But yeah, and
Yeah, it's
cheers to
also
that.
busy because like all the locations are like really pretty locations too. Like
Hmm.
they set it up so like each location's unique and has a really good views and all that kind of stuff. So I like going there. But so yes, it's a cream ale. Looks like it's a 5.4%. So nice and light, which is needed. Overall rating is a 3.25. So I'm very interested to see what I think because I know that my wife tried this and really, really liked it. So yeah. So that's our beers. Of course, if we remember, we'll rate them at the end
Yeah.
of the episode.
The one I almost got today, I was like, it was between this or the Texas Blood IPA. I almost got the Southern Star Bombshell Blonde in honor of
Mm,
Trinity the Tuck being the bombshell blonde of this movie here. So our one of our scream queens.
yeah, I had a beer saved for this as well. But within the last I don't know, few weeks, we've had a lot of people. We've interacted with a lot of people, and the beer got drank. So
So it's a risk. It's a risk.
yeah, that's it. Just keeping beer for certain things can be a risk, but um, I guess we can talk about movies and things like that. So we'll go through my little list, then we'll move over to Anthony to talk about beer news. So, well, it's movies and shows. I need to come up with a good name for this segment. Anyways, you can tell it's been a few weeks since I've done
It's
this.
let's do a TV guide.
Let's do it. Yeah, there you go.
Or
Um,
let's do a movie phone. One of those two.
next Friday, so that is Friday the 26th. We Are Here comes out again. Season 3? Season 4. Oh yeah. So if you know it, We're Here is pretty much a few drag queens travel the US and
Oh yeah.
put people in drag and all that kind of stuff. It's a really, really good show. It's on, well, Max, formerly HBO Max. I love this show. It's really great. And this year, they changed up the queens and they have Latrice, and I'm really excited about that. I'm trying to find the list of who the queens
Yeah,
are.
I heard there was some drama over drama that caused them to change up the lineup a little bit. I believe Shangela caused a bit of a scene there.
Yeah,
I don't think Shangela's still on there anymore.
they changed up all the queens.
Oh, did they?
And I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if it's because of that or if that was already planned, but you know, IMDb kind of sucks because it's not really telling me exactly. Okay, here we go. Latrice Royale, which is my favorite. Sasha Velour, Jada Essence Hall, Priyanka, which is from Canada Drag Race. I think it was Canada Drag Race. Oh crap. I clicked the wrong button. I clicked on Priyanka. And no, I think it's just them 4. There are 4 or 5. There's 4. Okay, so it's them
Yeah, I think
4.
it's usually 4. Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it. It looks, I mean, I'm gonna have a great time because I pretty much like all those queens. So, and then the show on Amazon Prime, Fallout, came out. I have not watched it. It is on my list. It has really good ratings, good reviews for this. I've personally heard mixed reviews about this, but have you seen any of it yet, Anthony?
I can, but that's was my thing of the week. So I was
Okay.
gonna talk about that
then
later.
we will just move on, which is great because I have a few other things we're going to talk about. So,
Okay.
Star Trek Destiny. This is the last season for it. I am very sad by it, but you know, I mean, there's only so much of a show till it starts becoming the same thing on repeat. So yeah, if you're into it, just know that this is the last season. So,
They're also doing the last season of Lower Decks too. Did you see that? There's only one more season of that.
yeah. So I'm interested to see what the future of Star Trek shows is. You know,
Yeah,
after
because
some of
Picard's done, and so I
thankfully.
think it's just Strange New Worlds that's still the only active show left, right?
Yep. So
Yeah.
once this one finishes out and the Lower Decks finishes out, yeah, I hope they do something because I'm enjoying all these Star Trek shows. My mind, I'm so sorry, everybody. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying these shows right now. And really the only movie that I have on here is the new Joker. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Foley do I believe is the subtitle for that, which is I
Mhm.
think it means something to the effect of like a hallucination shared by two people,
Mhm.
which seems appropriate based on what we see in the trailer because it looks like we have the Joker and Harley Quinn played by Lady Gaga
Mhm.
engaging in a musical while they're in a insane asylum or while they're in Arkham, basically,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
looks like it'll be pretty. I was skeptical when I heard that they were doing this as a musical. After seeing the trailer, I'm not skeptical anymore. It looks like they're going to make it work. So
I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be crazy. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm I'm looking because I thought the same thing. I was like, a musical? I was like, ugh, all right. What are they trying to force musicals to be in again right now? But
Well, it's when you think about like the superhero movies, like in the past, like say 10, 15 years, they've done all the other genres. They've done like sci-fi, they've done spy thriller. What's the one they haven't done yet? They've never done a superhero musical or a
I
comic
feel
book
like
musical.
I feel like these were the two to do it too. I feel
Yeah.
like Joker and Harley Quinn are like the perfect characters to do something like a musical. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that because that might be one I actually go see in theaters. But yeah, that's what I got. What you got for events?
All right. So on the calendar for so I'm just gonna skip right to this weekend because it is so Monday was tax day. Boo.
Wah,
Nobody
wah.
knows how to file their taxes. It's the day when the government makes you guess how much you owe them. If you're wrong, then you go to jail or pay penalties. So Saturday though is 420. Whoop, whoop.
Blazing.
Yeah, so, if you're in Texas, not so much. If you're out anywhere else in the country, celebrate, celebrate. But here in Texas, we do have a few events going on that are adjacent to this, so you can go enjoy your Delta 8 while you still can. But Community has got, on Saturday, they've got their Hoppy 420 featuring, $4.20 dank IPAs and 20% off beer to go. You have, Vector Brewing has their 4th anniversary block party going on. Uh
Nice.
Why I don't know why I'm blanking here. Um,
That's
so
also the day of my cousin's birthday, which I always think is kind of funny.
oh, nice. It's the day before my wife's birthday, so she's just one day off of more from
That's true.
420.
Yep.
Yeah. Martin House has Halloween. It's a half Halloween party featuring live music, food trucks, costume contests for humans and animals,
Ooh.
and special releases. It's free to attend. $20 if you want the beer glass. Tups. Uh, Never mind. Turning Point is what I meant. They have their 420 party featuring flights of 4 specialty beers, Marshmallow Scrambles, Pineapple Express, Glitter in Baja, and Smorviato.
Hmm.
Pegasus, 7-year celebration. Uh, Lakewood has their 420 live punk show. Everybody's got some 420 stuff going on. Just go support your local breweries at this 420 here. You can't legally acquire any of the good stuff here in Texas, but at least you can get some nice get your buzz on a different way. So, looking further out on the horizon, we do have the Hops and Props going on the following weekend. Always a good event on April 27th. Uh, the 6th annual Adult Field Day and Science Fair at Celestial that same weekend. And then False Idol has their 4-year anniversary party on May the 4th. Also, May the 4th, they have several breweries are doing their Star Wars events too. Looking at Turning Point, looking at Four Bullets Brewery, looking at Tups. Uh, you name it, they're probably doing a Star Wars event as well for May the 4th, unless they have an anniversary on that day, which it seems like a lot of them do too. And also Cinco de Mayo the day after. So a lot of brewery events coming up. If you want to see any of those, get the details on those, go to beerandbigd.com. Our guy there is doing all the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it out.
Yeah, I concur. Of course, definitely check out in places where it is legal. You can check out your local dispensary. They're probably gonna do something for it. I know around here, the bigger one that's in town, they usually have like but food trucks and music, and it's a party out there. But
Yeah.
we didn't do anything last year. I don't. I'm not a big personally. I'm not big into it, but whatever.
Yeah.
If it's your
And just
thing, do it.
Yeah. Just one bit of sad news, not to end on a downer, but
Oh yeah.
we do have some more closing news. Funky Picnic is closing their Fort Worth location there. So 5 years in business there, but they are closing here in the next little while there. I think their last day is April 27th. So go out, get your last hurrah in there. They had some pretty good beers. I was never a fan of I believe they're the ones that had the ramen beer, which was
No, that was
Interesting to
somebody
me.
else.
Oh, was that somebody else? Okay.
Yeah, somebody
Uh,
else that's already closed.
no, then I don't think I ever got a chance to go to Funky Picnic. I may see if I can pop in there then.
Yeah. And I was doom scrolling, and something came up about like ways of really to support your breweries, and it's like it's not always going and buying beer and all that stuff because there's only so much we can do. It's like if you can't do that, then it's liking their posts, sharing their post, even if it's a like and a comment, because that helps boost it. And I've really been trying to be better about that, especially for the DFW breweries and the few here that I really like is like I try to make like I don't have notifications on my phone unless it's a text message or a phone call, but I turn it on for certain breweries because like you know what I need to do my part there. So uh yeah. So if you're just scrolling around and you see your favorite brewery post something, just give it a like. Uh at the very least. Give it a like, give it a comment. If if you feel like it, share it, but just it's those things that do go a long way. Um so and all right, so before we move on to the movie, I do want to throw a quick plug that uh Anthony's wife started a podcast.
Yes.
Is called Day Drinking and Day Dreaming Podcast. Find them on Facebook, on the Instagrams, on the YouTube, and SoundCloud. If I remember right. I think that's
Yeah.
it.
Edited by our illustrious Ryan. So
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started editing for them and all that kind of stuff. I like to edit in my spare time. So yeah, I tried to remember to try to plug them. So go give them a listen, go get them a like. If you're on Facebook, I did tag them in the comments. So yeah, you just have to go click on that and they're right there. Go give them a like. So uh, the movie Slay.
So this being on Tubi, number one, first thing before we get into the movie itself,
Okay.
did you notice the new Tubi intro when you start the app?
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, but one after I was surprised by it, the second time, I was like, "That's actually kind of nice."
Yeah. No,
Like,
I
a
think
nice way to be introduced.
it makes you think, okay, there's not complete shit on this platform if they can
Yeah,
update their
makes it
intro.
makes it a little bit nicer. Yeah,
Yeah, the volume was too loud. And so whenever I clicked in there, because that's the thing with streaming services, I feel too, is they can't figure out a volume between everybody. Like
right.
I feel like Max is a little bit louder and Netflix is quieter. It's just like, come on, like let's just make it even. So
Yeah,
we were listening to something that was really loud, and then I went there and I was like, "Ooh, Toby," and you're like, ah,
I feel like there needs to be like an ISO standard that the ISO organization, they need to set the standard for like baseline volumes that everything needs to be mixed at for like television consumption. So when you so like because that's the thing where you get like you're watching TV and all of a sudden the commercials are like super loud.
yeah.
And it's stuff like that.
And as a audio person that I am, that drives me nuts because I'm
Yeah.
like, I know there's waves. It's just not giving the time or maybe not
Well,
caring. I don't know.
they do it. I'm pretty sure they do it on purpose. So
Yeah, they have
because
to.
now they got your attention, you got eyes on the screen. You're
Yeah.
watching their commercial.
My cousin texted me one time. He said, "Why do the ads in podcasts never match the audio of the actual podcast? And why is the music either way too low or way too high?" I'm like, honestly, from my point of view, it's the editing. It's
Yeah.
like that's what it comes down to. But yeah, to get your attention too, and we'll get into the movie in a minute. So, did you see that there's a new patent being out for advertisement? So, I think it was Sony is submitted this patent so to move on from a commercial, you have to say something. So it's like, let's say McDonald's is on the screen, a little thing will pop up, show the commercial, and then be like, say, I don't know, Big Mac to move on to the next. So you have to yell Big Mac or something stupid like that.
I think
So
I think I think
that's our
that
future.
I think you can see like because like have stuff like Netflix where they do the thing where like after a while if you're watching they're like are you still watching because for every time they show one of these things like they have to pay royalties even if like nobody's physically watching it. It's like I fell asleep watching The Office when The Office was on Netflix. I There were many episodes that played while I was sleeping. But they
Yeah.
have to pay like a fraction of a penny every time they play this uh Universal Comcast Universal whatever. Um for playing these episodes. So I feel like they're doing this to like make it so like put the commercial in there so they're getting money for showing the advertisement and then they will play no more until you acknowledge that you are watching this. So it may
Yeah.
be a way to like kind of force that so they don't pay so much in revenues to these other companies because we're just like sleeping or paying attention to our phone or we left the room or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's gonna, yeah, it honestly, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be really stupid.
Yeah.
That I will go out of my way to not buy that TV. I don't care how cool of a TV it is. It could be I could be the one person left with a TV that you don't talk to, and I will be that person because I'm not about that life where I have to start yelling at ads to watch my show. Like,
Cool, because you know it'll be like, we'll be the like the few people it doesn't work for, and we're just in our house yelling at our TV, "Burger, burger, burger."
come on, damn it! I said Big Mac. Like, yeah, just uh yeah. So I'm very interested to see what comes out of that. I'm not excited about it, but I'm interested. So, all
Yeah,
right,
but now I'm yelling at my computer, "Slay!"
Slay. Nothing's happening. Do I keep yelling?
So this movie, Slay, I
It
I
slays.
I went in with low expectations, and I was rewarded with my expectations were very much exceeded. Production quality was great. Uh,
Yeah.
the script was actually pretty good.
So, give us the very small synopsis so people listening know exactly what this is.
All right, so I believe this is accurate, but so the story synopsis is after a booking mistake, four drag queens find themselves performing for a mostly unwelcoming crowd. But when vampires attack, the crowd looks to the queens to save the day.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I know that my wife she shared this on Instagram with me. It was like, you have to do this for the podcast. And then I
Hmm.
sent it to Anthony and said, we're doing this for the podcast. So yeah, so it has Trinity the Tuck, it has Crystal Method, Heidi in Closet, and Kara uh
Caramel.
Mel, thank you.
Yeah.
Those are the main drag queens in this. And honestly, like, so Kara's the only one that we both didn't know who that was. Granted, I haven't gotten to that season of
Hmm.
UK yet, but I love Heidi, love Trinity, and love Crystal Method. And uh, after this, I really like like I think they all did a great job. Um, the same as you, I went in with super low expectation. Have you seen any of the other drag movies? Because
No, I have not.
there's a
My only
lot.
exposure to uh, other drag content is whatever the stupid movies they make in RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much how it feels.
Yeah.
These other ones, there's some silly, it's silly, goofy, kind of stupid stuff. So I don't know. Same as you, went in super low expectations, thinking it's gonna be Trinity the Tug. How good can it be? Not that she sucks, but just like acting, I can't imagine. Like, um,
But yeah,
man, it was
good.
fun. It was
Yeah, did
fun.
good.
Yeah. I really, hold on, I lost my spot. I eh, it was predictable, but at the same time, it was still fun. Like, you knew what was gonna happen, and all these kind of, there's nothing that was like a shock. Obviously, like, I mean, I still think it's really funny that the I swear I should have done some brain teasers before this to get my mind going. As soon as I clocked out of work, my mind stopped. Anthony, what did talk about this movie?
So I do think so. You're right in that it's relatively straightforward in its approach to, and aside from like the general twist of drag queens
Yeah, yeah.
against vampires, it's relatively straightforward. It's an approach, not too much in the way of twists and turns. I think the only thing that's like twisty turny is that it sets up things that look like they're going to be a twist, and then they turn out not to be a twist.
Mm, mhm.
Because like I think there was, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more later, but there's a scene where one of the queens does become a vampire. And they become a good vampire. But there's another scene where I thought a queen was going to become an evil vampire, because they've been kind of being a jerk throughout the entirety of the movie, and they set the thing where it's like if you're a jerk human, you become a jerk vampire. And so I thought this person was going to be a vampire and then become like the queen of the vampires and be like the final boss. And that didn't turn out to be
Right.
the case. They ended up coming back and saving the day. So it's like I thought they had some potential for making one of the queens into like a big boss, and it ended up not being the case. So that was a twist that I thought was gonna happen and ended up not happening. So that was like a twist in that there wasn't a twist.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was funny. That's where I was going with this originally. So the scene that they're actually performing before the vampire breaks out,
Hmm.
just like it was so awkward that it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
You know that like they're playing was it WAP that they were playing?
yeah, they were doing WAP. Yeah,
And like this bar is like uh middle of nowhere biker gang kind of spot. You know, like it's very much I think they even say of like your kind's not welcome here kind of people.
yeah, they're like on the out. It's like the outskirts of like Midland, Texas, kind of
Yeah.
vibe there. Yeah, it's like it's on the
So
outskirts of the outskirts.
yeah, and they're like, oh, we're gonna leave, but the owner's like, nope, I booked you, and they're like, you really okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, Crystal Methods part where she's like dancing solo is I don't know. I thought it was so funny because one, she's trying to look sexy, but in that outfit,
Oh,
she
the
looked
clown
like
outfit.
she
Yeah,
was yeah, she it was a clown dress thing that like she just looked like she was a child almost. I was like, this is
yeah.
so weird. There's like fighting going on and biting and shit, and she's just like over there doing something. It is pretty funny, but uh, it was yeah. It felt like a classic kind of vampire. Okay, it was vampire slash zombie in my opinion. The way
So
they could just like do the one bite and they're gone. I like.
So I was trying to because it seemed very the makeup for it seemed very Buffy the Vampire Fire Slayer
Mm,
type of vampires. They're like or like remember that show Angel, I think, which is a spin-off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
mm-hmm.
where like like I feel like the longer they're vampire, the more they have like those weird facial features,
Yeah.
that they get like the weird like the weird brow and like the exaggerated predatory facial features, which it looks like they're like slowly turning into the vampires we see at the beginning of the movie that are they look like bat human hybrids, I think. So
Mm,
maybe it's trying to show us that there's a progression going on from like human to like vampire thrall to like
okay.
full-fledged vampire. I think maybe it was what they're because the guy who had been the farmer who had been a vampire for the longest had the most exaggerated look at towards the end of the movie. I think he was one
Yeah.
of the last guys to get killed, with the stake. Um, but he had the most exaggerated makeup out of anybody. Whereas the brand new vampires, they looked human except they had the teeth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I can understand that now. I guess is there anything that you want to hit on before we go into likes and dislikes about this?
The only other big actor I saw other than the R4 Queens, Neil Sandilands, who plays Dusty, the bar owner. If you liked his acting in there, he is in the Netflix show Sweet Tooth. He's General Abbott, the main bad guy
Oh,
in that
I
show,
thought he
which
looked
he's good in that show
familiar.
too. Yeah. So he
Okay.
looks different. He looks a little bit different because got no hair, and he's got like a big bushy beard, and he wears like a pair of like goggles or glasses or something like that.
Yeah, as I
So, but
say,
he's really good in that show too.
yeah, yeah, he is great. That in general, that's a great show. I love
Yeah.
that show. All right, so let's move on to the likes and dislikes. Uh, Anthony, what do you want to start with?
So I will start with my likes. So what I liked about this, uh, it I did kind of like the names, but I honestly, watching them, I was like, that's Trinity, that's Heidi in Closet, that's Crystal Method, and that's Caramel. Uh, the names were sort of punny, like a good drag queen name is, but I didn't feel like they were anywhere near as good as their actual names. I feel like they should have just stuck with their names, their real names, and just kind of called it a day. But the whole, I thought the message throughout the whole thing of like them going into this really inhospitable environment and just kind of uh, going in there to entertain the people who wanted to see them, even though it was a very hostile environment. Um, I think it was really interesting, kind of setting up that environment and kind of showing that everybody has to band together to fight this external threat, even though they were seen as originally an external threat. So it's kind of like showing how everybody can kind of band together when really chips on the table. Everybody kind of has the same offers the same thing and can do like we can all work together. Basically, it kind of
Right.
fulfills uh, does somewhat of that message a bit. Um, uh, They don't but the other thing is they don't belabor it too much because at the end of the day, this is a silly horror movie, uh, as well. But the uh, yeah, I don't know. The there's a lot to this movie, but there's also not a lot to this movie. It's weird. It's very sugary, but like there's like ultimately there's like not a lot there, but there also is stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah. So my likes. I mean, honestly, that's almost hard because there's a lot that I did like about this movie. I liked the humor. I thought it
Yeah,
like
it's fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fun, light-hearted slash movie. Like, um, if you know these queens, you kind of already know their type of humor, and they bring it into this movie. Um, it definitely felt like this was written for them specifically. I don't know if it
Hmm.
was, but that's how it felt. Um, yeah, so I think it was fun. I think it was done great. Uh, the graphics were really good. I mean, there's not a lot of negative that I can or yeah, not a lot of negative. Of course, I have some, but there's not a lot. So, and there's so much positive to this, especially if you go into this knowing what kind of movie this is.
Hmm.
I think that's the preparation. I feel like I talk about that all the time too. In this is like if I know what type of movie this is going into it, I know how to either critique it, appreciate it, or get annoyed. Just like though I rate it differently because it's like they're meant to be a stupid bad movie, and this is kind of meant to be a stupid, funny horror movie. So
Which the funny thing is, there's that one scene there where the biker gang runs out. They're basically going to attack the vampires, thinking they can take them out. And I think they fully acknowledge what this movie is when they are like you can hear in the sound effects cars exploding, people screaming, and I think Caramel says, "Wow, if they ever adapt this in the movie, they're going to need a huge budget to show all this awesome stuff that's happening." And we're
yeah,
just looking at them reacting to everything that's happening outside that we can hear
yeah,
that is supposedly exciting with cars blowing up and stuff, this, that, and the other thing happening. But otherwise, we're just looking at them reacting, and we're getting the cheap shot. So
yeah, yeah. That yeah. If you don't know it before that point, then you know it at that point. I'm just
yeah,
okay. It's this kind of movie. So yeah, I mean, those are my likes. So, uh, dislikes. So Anthony actually kind of hit on it, which is I really dislike the names that they gave them. I do wish they just would have stayed with their normal name drag names. Um, I don't know why that just bugged me more than it probably should have.
That's because we know their real names are so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's just like, and this is the problem I think with even just like actors in general. Like whenever you see an actor that's known for this one role, and like that's all you can see them in. So like really any for me it's anybody in Arrested Development or The Office. Whenever I see them in another role, it's like, oh, okay, that's Michael Scott pretending to be, just like
Right,
I
right.
try not to because I know that really sucks for the actors and everything. And I think it's the same thing here, but at the same time, if this is a movie about drag queens fighting vampires, like I think it's okay to use your drag name here. I think it would have been better. So that honestly, I think that's my biggest negative about this movie. So, what about you?
So I think so. So my specific. So I mentioned this a little bit. I think it's those twists that I. It's the story I was telling myself. I felt like it was a little bit better when I was like trying to predict what was going to happen. I feel like that was a little bit better than what happened because, as we mentioned, this movie is relatively straightforward. It's like trying to be like dusk till dawn esh kind of movie where they're stuck in the bar and they're fighting off the outside threat, the outside supernatural threat. But we have one of the big conflicts, other than the zombies versus everybody else who's stuck in the bar, is the conflict between Mama Souffle and Olive Wood, because they're kind of both wrestling for control of the group a little bit. Mama Souffle is the one in charge of their little troop, and Olive is wanting to like help with choreography, but Trinity the Tuck's character basically is like got the lockdown on it. We're going to do the choreography the way I want to do it, and that's the final say. But they're like through their conflict, Olive ends up like getting doing something that allows Bella Du Bois, Crystal Method's character, to be killed by a vampire.
Mm,
Uh, and so, in reaction to that, Olive ends up stealing, like running out of the bar, stealing a bike, and just kind of riding off. And so, Olive, Caramel's character, ends up running across the original vampires we see at the beginning of the movie. So, what I thought was going to happen here was that she was going to get bit by the vampires, and we get just before this when we find out that Crystal Method's character is actually alive, and but not evil because she's a good person. So why would she be an asshole vampire like these other guys? Those guys are assholes, therefore they're asshole vampires. The ones who are vampires who are good people, they're still good people. They're just vampires. So I thought what was going to happen is that Caramel's character was going to get bit and be an asshole vampire, but like be the queen of the asshole vampires because she was kind of being an asshole
mhm.
the whole time, kind of going off and doing her own thing. They didn't take that route. I thought it would have been interesting to have like an vampire, evil vampire drag queen versus like the other drag queens and one good vampire drag queen. And I thought that would have been interesting. But I think in order to do that, you would have had to have, instead of having Crystal Method's character be the vampire, I think you would have had to have Trinity the Tuck's character be the vampire
Yeah.
to have that little tete-a-tete going against each other. So I had, like, I'm thinking about it. They didn't really set themselves up for that kind of like um, duel, I guess, between the two ideologies in the group.
Yeah.
But I think it's a route.
Would have been
I
fun.
think it's a road they could have taken that they ended up not taking. So
Slay too.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I have an idea for Slay too. You remember that there was a show on BBC where it was like zombie apocalypse, but it was people who were in uh, Big Brother. You ever seen that one? I forget what it's
Mm-mm.
called.
No, I
But
haven't.
it's basically these people are all in Big Brother, and the zombie apocalypse happens outside of Big Brother in England. So I think it should be Slay 2 happens in a RuPaul's Drag Race esque reality show, and vampires or zombies are attacking, and they have to defend.
I
Uh,
think that'd be fun.
they have to defend the workroom. So
That's right. For this week's challenge.
yeah, let's kill all those motherfucking zombies.
That'd be really fun. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that'd be fun.
Yeah, but that would, I mean, if they wanted to have make this into a franchise, I think they could totally do that. There's
Oh
so much
yeah.
to work with in this in the horror slasher genre, and I feel like they could take these four characters they developed and expand them, or expand the crew, if you will, into other queens, and kind of just make it into a franchise where they just leverage all of these different queens into different shows. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think so too.
Particularly if they maintain this quality level of writing and production. Because again, I went into it thinking it was going to be akin to that infomercial for that we saw for Redding, California, and it was
Mm,
much better than that. So
yeah. Thank God it's much better than that.
yeah, The Punished. Yeah, that's the movie.
Jeez. All right. So we are on Letterbox. I know I've played that many times, but Letterbox is a place where you can go rate your movies. You can put that you watch them, like them, put them on your top 5, blah blah blah. So follow us there on Letterbox at Let's Do a Podcast. So Anthony, what would you rate this? 1 out of 5. You can do halves.
So I get this one a 4. It's not the best movie I ever saw, but it was pretty good. I gotta say, the other favorite scene I had is when they fight the vampires to that Doja Cat song. That
Oh
was pretty
yeah.
good too.
Am I here?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. A thing popped up saying trying to connect. So
Yeah, it lied to me
uh,
too.
sweet. So hopefully everybody's still here listening. But yeah, so I gave it a 4 as well. I'm comparing this to other drag movies that I've seen and everything. But yeah, I thought it was really, really fun. So would you put this under the like category?
Oh yeah,
Me too. Um,
yeah. If they ever do a sequel for this, I will be watching it. So
yeah. So
on Tubi.
to be, um, I do want to say, please watch this movie. I,
Mhm.
I um, I want this to get traction because I want more of like this.
Yeah.
Because it's something that, so my wife doesn't really like horror, doesn't like these kind of movies, but she could get into this. And these are the type of horror that I enjoy as well. And I think it was done well. I think people need to watch this one. I think it's fun, it's goofy, it's lightheartish. Depending how you feel about, blood and stuff. But I
Well, even that, it wasn't all
it
that bloody.
wasn't it
Yeah.
wasn't super bloody. There was some so please watch this. Give it a view, give it a watch. Help support, these drag queens that are out there doing the Lord's work. So there we go. There's our rating. There's our conversation about Slay. I have no idea what our next movie is because that is on Anthony. So
Yeah, it's on me. I got to figure something out. I got a
um
list. I just got to go find it.
yeah. So let's talk about how are you doing on beer?
I'm still working through it, but
Yeah, I am too.
I'm almost there.
Okay. So we'll do things we like. Or things of the week or whatever. Yes, things of the week. Do you have a
So
thing of the week or do I
yeah,
need to
I'll go
go?
ahead and start because
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
already spoiled mine. So my thing of the week is the Fallout TV show, as mentioned earlier. So Ryan, did you played Fallout, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you played Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4.
I have not played all of them, but I've played a lot of them. So
Yes. So I believe this show takes place, I think, a good 10 years after Fallout 4. Fallout 4, I think, takes place in 22. It's either 2288 or 2290 something. This takes place a little bit after that, still in the 2290s, I believe. So it's like maybe 15 years after Fallout New Vegas, and just like maybe less than 10 years after Fallout 4. I believe 2277 is where Fallout 3 happens. Anyways, so all those things, this is show is canon to the Fallout universe. So Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, New Vegas, all the Brotherhood of Steel, all of these things have already happened in this universe. Takes place in Los Angeles. So around Shady Sands, New California Republic, and all that stuff. Apparently, the New California Republic is not the massive government it was a little when we played in Fallout New Vegas. But the Brotherhood of Steel are still around. The Enclave are around. NCR is still around a little bit as well, just not in the format it was previously. But all the stuff that we know and love is out there. So we start with the Vault Dweller. We start with a member of the Brotherhood of Steel, and we start with Walton Goggins, one of our favorites in some of the movies we've seen, playing a character called the Ghoul. We actually start the show with him in 2077 when the bombs drop. Uh, uh, but I've only seen the first 2 episodes so far. It's very the energy is the energy, the sets, the props all look like they came straight out of the game. They pay a lot of I've seen a lot of people complaining about it and complaining about canon being like overwritten or like re stuff getting like uh retconned. And everything I've read about it, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are smoking. Nothing's getting retconned. If anything, it's like maybe you can see it as an inaccuracy that somebody in a character just didn't know something. Because again, this is the apocalypse. This is the post apocalypse. Information is going to be inaccurate out there. But I'm really interested to see. I never played Fallout 1 or Fallout 2, so I'm really interested to see kind of the state of things in California. So that's where you play the first 2 games. And supposedly, spoiler alert, because this is already spoiled for me. Supposedly, it looks like at the end of this season that you see New Vegas. So New Vegas is still there.
Mhm.
And so I think the rumor is that season 2 happens in New Vegas. So for all you Fallout New Vegas fans out there, we're going out there. House apparently is out there. The Caesar Legion is still out there. Brotherhood of Steel is still out there. All the people you know and love still out there in New Vegas. So looking forward to it. Watching the rest of the season and just kind of digging into this world a little bit more because it's been a minute since I played Fallout 4 as well. So it's been good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I need to put it on because yeah, just looking at it from the trailers, it looks great. So
Just just the music, the music is like the same music you listen to in the game, and just having it play, it's just like nostalgia, like for music that I never listened to growing up. But it's all that music you hear all the time, all those oldies tunes from like the Ink Spots. There's actually, I think they actually have a Johnny Cash song at one point that fits the vibe 100%.
nice.
So it's great. They did a really good job with it.
Yeah, it really does look good. And I don't really listen to much of the people that complain about really anything because it's just like people are always gonna find a reason to complain.
Hmm.
Um you just have to go in with a different mindset of like this isn't going to be the game because it's a show. So
Right? Yeah. Well, particularly when
um
you have a game that can end like 3 different ways. It's a show, so everything's gonna have to happen in one
y-
way because we can't
yeah,
choose how the show goes. So
yeah, the game literally is how you want it to be. So um all right. So my thing is an app. So as people know that I've been remote for I don't know about a year and a half ish now. Um, Self care really took like a back seat because it's so easy to be lazy whenever you're home all the time. Um, I was just so lately in general, I've been trying to start taking care of myself more. Like I'm trying to do my hair more. I'm trying to, just do like kind of the normal things that I would do if I went to an office. So to help me remember, really, because I sit down here to start working, and before I know it, it can be time to clock out and be done for the day. So I have this really dumb app, but it's great. It's called Finch, Finch. Um, Pretty much you're like a goofy little character. Let me see if kind of picks it up, sort of.
yeah,
It's
you
so
kind of see it. Yeah.
it's like a little penguin character that as you do the self-care things, you mark them off and earn points and the character grows. It's dumb, but I like my dumb phone app games. Um, but let me tell you, so I've been doing that a week and a day now. I've been using this thing, and it's helped me at like, to get up, I go change my clothes, I go brush my teeth. I get ready for the day instead of just like staying in my pajamas all day.
Hmm.
And then whenever I clock out, it's like, okay, I play with the dog. I do a little bit of exercise. Like I just stuff like that. That's like literally whenever you're home all the time, stuff like that just you don't think about anymore. Like
Right.
it's crazy of how much the self care really gets thrown out. And so I think even though it's a stupid little thing, I really think it helped really change my last week, a little over a week now. So I think I would suggest if there's things that you really want to work on in your daily life, download this app, give it a shot because you can edit everything. Even if it's just like two things of like, oh, I want to exercise in the morning and at night, you can add that in there and it like reminds you and helps you and tries to motivate you. And you can add friends and stuff like that. So it's a little thing, but uh I think it has helped my mental state a lot because it is nice. Like I can't tell you how many times we'd do laundry and he'd be like, "You barely wore like change clothes this week." I was like, before I knew it, it was Saturday again. Like just,
Yeah.
it is crazy. It's stuff like that that you don't think about whenever you're home all the time, being remote.
That's part of the reason why even during COVID, I just didn't work from home because I've always been very much I don't want to live anywhere near my office or where I work. I don't want to. And when COVID came about, I was like, I tried working from home. And I was like, I just can't do it because I just can't separate work life from home life if I'm in the same place. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's good on you because I am not strong enough for that. So
it is tough. I I used to be really good about just being like, "Oh, time to clock out." I'd clock out and be done for the day. I've gotten really bad about it. But I use the excuse that we're super short-handed, which we are. So, um but it's like, okay, I need something to remind me to like, okay, I have to take a break and take care of myself. I need to take that break and go outside for 15 minutes, Like I need to take that time to not be sitting here from 5 till 3. Just
right.
I have to get up. I need to take care of the dog. I need to take care of myself. So I like my dumb little phone games. And so whenever I found this, I was like, cool, we'll see if it works. And it's been working so far. So I got one of my other coworkers playing it too. So she's just like, all right, I'm glad that you have me doing this because now I'm getting up too. So
Nice. Nice.
um all right. So beer. Anthony, how was your beer? And what would you rate it?
So my beer was pretty good. I think I prefer it from the tap. There's some beers that are better from the can, some beers that are better from the tap, and some beers that really it just doesn't matter where you get it; it's just still good. This one here from Texas Ale Project, it was not as good as from the tap. I'd probably put it down from the can as a 3.5. It's. I think there's a little bit of extra like it's like this bright bitterness to it that's more I guess I prefer more of an earthy
Mhm.
bitterness in my IPAs, and this one I feel like it was just like the bitterness kind of sat high on the palate a little bit. It was kind of hard to describe, but it's just like too bitter, but not like I like a good bitter IPA, but the bitterness was just like in a weird place that it's just like wasn't the right kind of bitterness, I guess. I don't know. There's probably a better way to describe it. I just don't have the words for it right now.
Yeah.
So I have 3.5 though. It was good. It's just that the bitterness was just not the kind of bitterness that I like.
Yeah, I get that. So yeah, mine the pre-prohibition cream ale from Pelican. Ah, so okay, it's hard. This one's difficult for me because it's like as a beer in general, it was a good beer. It was light, it was crisp. I drank it. I could have chugged that thing. but as a cream ale, I didn't get it. Um, I felt more like closer to a lager type feel for me. Um, so
So you're bringing in that it's like a smoothness that you're supposed to get with cream ale, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it I don't know. Again, maybe it's the can. I don't know how old this can is. There's a lot of things that could go into this. That's one reason, in general, on Untapped, I kind of stopped rating stuff because I'm
Hmm.
like, it could be a bad batch. It could be just not what I'm into. So it's just like I just log what I drink if I log anything. It's been a while, but um, so as a cream ale, I'm gonna give this like a 2. But as like a general beer, I think it was a really delicious beer that I would probably give a 3. Um, so that's what's difficult to me is
Yeah.
like
So you're
as
saying
a as
this description is not accurate.
yeah, I didn't description wise, I was just like, is this the same beer? Like that's really how I felt.
It's like one of those things where you think you're drinking like Coca-Cola and you drink sweet tea and even though it's good sweet tea, you thought it was Coca-Cola and therefore it tastes bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's really what I was trying to think the whole time I was drinking it. I was just like, I mean, is it a bad batch? Is it, what is it about it that's like, eh? So I'd be interested to see what that tastes like off of tap. That's for sure. But yeah, so that's my rating for that guy. So um, I think that's it, right? We hit
Yeah.
out. We
So now
hit
we
all the
have the social
marks.
now we got the socials.
All right, you want to break down the socials if you
Let me
can?
see if I can remember. So you can find us if you're looking for us on the socials. We are on Facebook at Let's Do a Podcast. We are on Twitch uh, at Let's Do a Pod. Let's Twitch a Pod.
Uh,
Uh, are
I
we?
should know this. Let's Twitch a podcast.
Let's Twitch a Podcast.
We like to make things
We
difficult here.
YouTube. Let's Do a Podcast 22. You can find us on all your favorite podcast streaming services. If we're not there, tell us. We'll get ourselves on there. Um, that's all I can remember. Am I missing
Yeah,
stuff? I'm probably
I
missing stuff.
probably, but hey, just look us up.
Yeah. Untapped. Let's do a podcast. And what's that film one that you mentioned earlier?
Oh yeah, letterbox.
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 Litterbox or letterbox?
Just look up either one. We might be on both. I don't know. Besides that, if you have anything that you would like us to drink, let us know. If you'd like us to watch a certain movie, let us know. We'll do our best to
Yeah.
do that. Also, make sure to go follow Day Drinking and Daydreaming on the Facebooks and Instagrams and the SoundClouds. Besides that, everybody, we will see you guys in I don't know what, 2 weeks, I think, right? Not next week, but the week after. Yeah,
Maybe a
something
slight
like
delay
that.
on that if we unless we record early because I will be on vacation. So
Anthony and his
yeah,
trips, man, he
yeah.
traveling man
I'm
over
trying
here.
to get it on the reg here. So
I get it.
I'm getting fancy.
I'm ready. I've been itching for a vacation. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, we. If I remember, I'll post on Facebook when we will be live next and recording with all of y'all. So, thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out. We appreciate you. And let's end a podcast. Penetration style.